Okay. Good evening, folks. This is Manny Magoo on Sunday, November the 15th. Happy birthday, Grandma. It's my grandmother's birthday today. She's 88 years old. God bless her. 7:47 p.m. And I want to just quickly put my watch list out there for this coming week. This is what I'm looking at. Again, folks, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not asking you to buy these stocks. I'm not asking you to sell these stocks. I'm not asking you to stay in them. Basically, my job here is to give you as much knowledge as I possibly can based on the way I trade. I'm a price action trader. I've been trading for over 20 years, and I just wanted to reach out to everyone who's been watching my videos. I hope you enjoyed them. And I want to dive right in so I can get this out there to you folks. All right, the first stock we're going to start off with is AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, AMD. Now, folks, this right here is a weekly chart. These are all weekly candles, okay? And what I usually do, as you know, for those of you who don't know and you're new to the channel, okay, I always draw the previous month's high and the previous month's low, okay? As a matter of fact, if you take a look, the previous month's high here is $88.72. The low is $74.23, and I've identified the high and the low with these two yellow lines, as you can see, okay? So again, going to a weekly chart. As you can see, AMD has been consolidating in this range for quite some time, okay? And in order for it to break out of this range, it really needs to break the high of the previous week, okay? And this is this candle here, okay? The high is $87.05. The low is $77.63. Tomorrow we're going to see what happens, but if and only if AMD breaks out of 87.05, chances are Manny Magoo is going to take that trade long. Again, folks, if we break out of this 87, the high of 87.05, okay, 87.05 automatically becomes resistance. Now, mind you, see this yellow line here? You have to pay attention to that because that's the previous month's high, which means that there's going to be resistance up in that area. So if you take the trade at $87.05, the break of 87.05, maybe you want to, take it at 87.10 or 87.08. I usually like putting it a couple pennies above, just in case it hits 87.05 and then pulls back. Just keep in mind that soon as we break 87.05, the next area of resistance is going to be 88.72. Okay? So going on to a daily chart of AMD, as you can see, it's been in this range. Goes up, comes back. Goes up, it broke through. This is the first time it ever broke through. Then it pulled back. Goes up again, pulls back, finds support, goes up, pulls back. As you can see, it's in this range. So again, let's keep an eye on AMD. I've identified the areas, and don't trade them unless they happen, okay? Be patient. Next up on our list is Mark's stock that he wanted me to analyze last week, UPS. I like UPS, okay? Again, as you can see, it's been trading in this range. In order for UPS to break out, folks, we need to break a weekly, okay? We need to first break the weekly. As a matter of fact, I really like this chart. By the way, these are inside weekly candles. An inside week means that we weren't strong enough this week to break the previous week's high, but we weren't weak enough to break the previous week's low, okay? It's consolidating. It's indecision. The bulls and the bears are trying to figure out what direction they should go in, okay? However, until UPS breaks 168.22, I will not take this trade, okay? 168.22. Draw your lines, folks. This is last week's candle. Draw your line. The high is 168.22. The low is 158.71. I've identified also my previous month's high, previous month's low, okay? And as you know, if the price is in between these lines, this line here acts as resistance. When it breaks it, it automatically becomes support. So if it breaks the resistance and pulls back to support and breaks support, you can get out, folks. It's not going to cost you much. That's the beautiful part about the way I trade. I've identified my break, and then I've identified my stop, is if it comes back inside, okay? If there's something you don't understand, please comment or email me at hunterchasetrading@gmail.com. It's important, okay? Next on our list, stock number 3, Workhorse, WKHS. We were fighting with this thing all last week. It finally broke out. However, it pulled back inside. Again, folks, weekly high here on Workhorse, $20.79. In order for Workhorse to start working, we needed to break $20.79. So that's the weekly. Let's look at the daily. And there is the daily. And as you can see in this area, it's been just in this channel here. The only time it broke out of this area was back in September 8th. And then it ran off to the races, pulled all the way back, found support. And again, it's trying to break out. Okay, so this chart looks really good. Pay attention to it. Again, $20.79. That is the key level for you to go long. Okay? Next on our list, we have good old Apple, the Cinderella of the market. All right, come on, Apple. Here we go. Okay, again, Apple in this range. It's been in this range. It's been fighting to break out. It hasn't done it yet. However, we have identified our weekly high. Weekly high right now is $121.99. Let's just call it 122. We've identified a last month's previous also high. It's 125.39. Mind you, once we break this area, if we do break it of 121.99, call it 122, you have to realize there's going to be your next area of resistance right up in there. So we could easily get there, just like it did here, and fail and pull back. Okay? So keep an eye on that, and I hope you guys understand what I'm doing here. 121.99, that's last week's high. We need to break that. Okay? Alrighty. Now, next stock number 5, Twitter, TWTR. Let's go to Twitter. All right, Twitter, here we go. So, Twitter has pulled back quite a bit, found support in this area. As you can see, this area, folks, you could draw a line there, an imaginary line, and you're going to see that it's touched this area quite a bit. That's exactly what it did. Twitter went all the way down to $38.93, found support, came back inside this week's low, which was 10.26. And right now, Twitter, let's see, the price is $43.48. We need to break the 45.18 area in order for me to feel good about going long on Twitter. Until then, I sit on my hands. Okay? So keep an eye on this area. That's where it needs to break. $45.18. Let's just take a look at the daily. Okay? As you can see, it gapped down. And, yep. This is the candle, folks. You see this candle here? The 1030 candle? Everything's inside this 1030 candle. So until we break that $45.18, guess what? We're not going anywhere. Okay? We need to get above this hump in order to close in that gap again. Okay? So keep an eye on Twitter. Let's see here. Next on our list is DRAFTKINGS, DKNG. Okay, DRAFTKINGS. Here we go. So, DRAFTKINGS, oh boy, it's come down dramatically, found support again in this area here. You can see where the yellow line is. This was last month's low of $34.90, found the support and started to march up again. Okay, pulled back a little here, found support again at a low of $38.44 before it started marching up again. However, again, folks, in order for DraftKings to start making its move to the upside and change direction, it has to break 45.50. If it doesn't break 45.50, guess what I do, folks? I sit on my hands. I do not just jump in, okay? Patience in the long run pays. We had a phenomenal week last week, and all you had to do is watch my videos and just exercise patience. Now, mind you, during the day, I do moderate live in my own room, so many subscribers that are involved in our channel, they hear us live trading. It does help when we do break a certain area. We've identified our pullback, so we kind of, basically state that in the room live. But again, folks, I want you to realize that 45.50, this is the area. Until it breaks it, don't do anything on DraftKings, okay? Last but not least, good old CHEWY. CHWY. Okay, now, we did have a pullback on CHEWY. As you can see, it pulled back. It found support at $55.81 back on 11/10. And I've identified the area here with my red line. Yellow line's also right underneath it. This is the previous month's low. And right now it's just consolidating. It did gap down, so we want to fill that gap. Well, in order to fill that gap, what do we have to do? We have to break $65.20. If CHEWY doesn't get above $65.20, guess what? Don't take the trade, okay? Also, gaps. Usually gaps are filled. We don't know when, we don't know how, we don't know how long it's going to take. But when you see a gap, okay, to the upside, that means there was a tremendous amount of strength in the move. When you see a gap to the downside, there was a tremendous amount of selling in the move, okay? Usually gaps want to be filled. However, if you take a look at this candle here, the 11/6 candle, the low is $66.89. That right now is going to act as resistance, okay? So even though we break 65.20, if we break 65.20 with CHEWY, you need to identify the next area of resistance. The next area is the low of that candle, 66.89. Folks, it is so important for you to understand support and resistance, okay? I would say that it's probably the most important thing in trading, okay? Once you understand your support and once you understand your resistance, I can promise you the sky's the limit when it comes to trading. However, again, there are certain rules you've got to identify. The first, patience. You need patience. The second, stop trying to hit a home run, okay? It's not going to happen. The more times you try for those home runs, chances are you're going to wind up losing your money, okay? So be conservative. That's very, very important, okay? Anyhow, there will be some others I'm looking at, but as of right now, that is my watch list. So we have AMD, UPS, WKHS, Apple, AAPL, Twitter, TWTR, DraftKings, DKNG, and CHEWY, CHWY. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please comment or email me, hunterchasetrading@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to take my time, analyze anything you want. If you have any questions, and also if you have any stocks that you're looking at or you're in and you want me to analyze, just comment below or send me an email. And please, the only thing I ask for is if you could just subscribe to the channel. Makes me happy to see more subscribers coming on board, and I'm just hoping that I'm helping people out. Anyhow, have a great end of your Sunday, and I wish you safe trading to everyone. We will see everyone here again tomorrow morning. Have a great night, folks.